Hey guys, welcome to the October Energetic Insights. Those of you that watch the September one will know that this is a place where I kind of share what's going on energetically. And it's really for those of you that are a little bit more sensitive to energies or intuitive, or even if you're just looking for some practical guidance as you're raising your conscious awareness and kind of becoming a little bit more curious about what is energy, what does that mean for me, and what's going on, and how does it affect my day-to-day life, and how do I make the most of it. So if that sounds like you, then you're here at the right place. So going back to September, you would have heard me say that it was really a month about slowing down and resting. And the reason for that is that the energies are moving pretty fast, and they're still moving pretty fast. So if you hadn't taken the time to slow down in September, then you might be feeling like you're a little pressure cooker and you're bubbling away and you're bubbling away and ready to explode, and you may be trying to look for different ways to kind of release that tension that's kind of bubbling away within yourself. So you may be feeling frustrated with yourself, you may be feeling overwhelmed, there may be a sense of confusion around you, or even anger might be coming up as well. So it's so important, if you hadn't slowed down, or if you had slowed down but still feeling these things, is to take some time to slow down even more and take some time to kind of rest. So it may be taking a couple of hours out a day, or a day out of the weekend, to just really find some time for you to slow down, to rest, and to really process what's going on. This space and this time will actually allow this feeling, this pressure feeling that's building up within you, to kind of release. And those of you that did slow down will know that, some of us may be resistant to slowing down because it also brings up a lot of our muck, a lot of our old stuff that is ready to kind of come up to be released. So trust me, it's not pleasant, but once you kind of allow the muck to kind of come through you, it does feel a lot more liberating. So make sure you have done that. So going forward, those of you did slow down, you may be finding yourself in a little bit of a limbo. And this is absolutely okay, because we are in a period of integration, and it's like various different stages and various different ways of integration, and it's almost like waves as well of integration. So you may be feeling like you're in limbo. And the reason for this is that you're not quite your old version of yourself, because if you did slow down, you would have released a lot of your old self in that process as well. And you would have also gained some clarity of what the new version of yourself is. So you may have the vision and you had the clarity of who this new version of yourself is, but you're also not quite there, and you're not fully embodying the new version of yourself. So you're kind of in this limbo state, right? Worry not, this is actually a great opportunity to take some time out to really mourn the old self. And what do I mean by that, mourning your old self? Well, it's really mourning the desires, the dreams, and the hopes that were unfulfilled by the old self. So you've kind of left this old version of yourself behind, but it's also kind of taking some time out to mourn the dreams that this old version of yourself had, the hopes that this old version of yourself has, because they weren't fulfilled in that version of yourself. And that is okay. So whatever you feel like you need to mourn, just give yourself that space to really mourn for what has been unfulfilled. And so this limbo state is a great opportunity for that. Another thing that you can do in this limbo state is also take some time out to reflect. Reflect back on your journey. Reflect back on how far you've come in the last year, the last 5 years, and the last 10 years. And not just looking at what have you achieved externally, but how have you grown as an individual internally? How do you feel about yourself? How has your self-love increased? How has your self-care practice evolved? How has your thinking evolved? How do you view yourself and the world around you? Take some time to reflect on that. And what you'll see in that, you'll see your journey. You'll see how far you've actually come. And also, what you will also notice is that the old version of you could not have foreseen this new version of you. So that is also a great thing to say, that you may be able to see some part of your new version, but you might not be able to see the whole of your new version, and that is okay. And that's why hindsight is an absolutely fantastic gift. So just know that where you are right now, you might not be able to see who you're going to be in 10 years time, because you may not have the tools and the awareness of that at the moment, and that is absolutely okay. The other thing that is really important with the new energies that are moving fast at the moment is that you need to make sure that you're grounding to integrate. A lot of us with the fast new energies, we want to kind of jump on board of them, kind of go higher and higher with them, and wanting to leave our bodies. And this is really not the time to do that. I really encourage you to really center yourself and ground yourself. Otherwise, you're going to feel this kind of disharmony going on and an undercurrent of where you're not feeling fully balanced, really. So it's really about grounding to integrate, but it's a slightly different grounding to integrate. It's not your general grounding, but it's because you're trying to find what's really going to be going on is that you're going to be finding your new center here. So there's a new center that's coming through, with this grounding. So that will help you to rebalance yourself. So many of you that are around this limbo or not in the limbo will also be feeling a little bit unbalanced. And when you find this new center, you'll find this level of a new peace, new contentment, new sort of, it's a very softness. There's a very nice softness to it. So make sure that you take some time out to kind of ground, to integrate and find your new center. There's another part to this where it's about increasing your self-care practice and increasing your self-awareness, but we're flipping that a little bit and having a look at the ways of, by looking at the ways that you may be self-harming yourself, you can then apply that to stop that and increase your self-care practice, and that will then in turn increase the level of self-love you have. So there's so many different things that are going on this month, and there's so many different things that you can actually do, tools that you can actually use to really integrate these new energies, become even more aware of yourself, what you feel, how you're feeling it, and using that to kind of continue on this evolution journey. And remember, evolution is constant. We are constantly evolving. So, September was 1 month. We will still be experiencing some of the vibes of September still going forward, and even some of you may be still experiencing some of the stuff that happened in August and July. That is okay, because we are constantly evolving. And really, there is no, when we think of evolution, many of us think of there is a top. And actually, there is no top to get to. There is no race here. It's really allowing yourself to go through this circular motion. And it starts off, where I kind of look at it, it starts off with believing. And you believe in something that you have no knowledge of, right? And then you fall into the stage of not knowing. And that stage is really about, well, okay, I know what I don't know, so let me learn about it, right? And then once you've learned about it, you fall into the stage of knowing. And knowing is really, okay, these are the things that I know about myself, these are the things I don't know about myself, and these are things I know I need to do to kind of move forward. Right? But that is your knowing stage. And then when you start actioning what it is that you know and start embodying that, you come into more of the doing phase, where you're starting to put actions to what it is that you know, to then and what you're doing is at that point, you're actively evolving. And then once those actions then become part of your subconscious that you do on a regular basis, you then just transition into this place of being, where you feel a lot more grounded. There's a certainty, there's a feeling of contentment, and there's a feeling of just peace and being. So we are constantly going through that cycle, and it's not linear, it's cyclical. So therefore we can be in many of these stages at the same time. So you can be in a state of being for one thing, but also a state of not knowing in another thing. So just be aware of that, and be kind to yourself this month. Give yourself some space. Take time to mourn your old self, and really ground to integrate and allow yourself to find your new center. So thanks for watching this, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will also include some links about some of the areas topics and themes that I've kind of discussed on this video. And There is a new offering coming out. I haven't put it together just yet, so keep an eye out on it. It's either going to come out this month in October. If not, it will definitely be out in November. Thanks for watching and see you next month. Bye bye now.